So we've heard for a while that YouTube is getting ready to start cracking down on things that you can upload as far as video games go, as far as video game content, types of games you play, and all that kind of stuff, is especially as it pertains to like gambling or purchases in games and gratuitous violence and things like that. So we've known about that. Apparently it's about to go down. So before we get into it, I just want to say I'm recovering from a pretty nasty cold, so I still sound awful. So I appreciate you all coming, hanging out, checking out what I have to say on this. I'm going to give my thoughts on this afterward, but we'll read what they're saying right now. This is on GameRant.com. YouTube is cracking down on gaming content related to gambling and violence. There's a little bit before this, but it's just kind of set up, so I'll save you the time. I'm going to give my thoughts on this too, and why I think they're doing it, where I think it's going. YouTube's latest guidelines, which will start to be enforced on November 17th, 2025, will likely make it harder for content creators to upload videos of some games. YouTube's upcoming policies make 3 major changes, and 2 of them directly affect the gaming space, while the third is solely focused on age-restricting social casino content. One of the changes redefines online gambling content, which is currently prohibited from being directly linked to, marketed, or sold on the platform. The plan is to expand the definition to cover online gambling with additional items that have monetary value, including video game skins and cosmetics. That's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one. This change would likely affect popular live service games such as Counter-Strike 2, which has not just that. I mean, there's like tons of like RPG games and stuff like that that's going to impact. No Easter egg there. Which has a thriving skin market. In practice, it's still unclear how far the ban would go, as it could mean that videos would not be able to link to the game or its skins, but it's uncertain whether videos featuring gameplay could break these rules. Another possibly more controversial change is related to gaming content that focuses on realistic violence. According to the new guidelines, content that focuses on scenes of torture or mass violence against non-combatants could be age-restricted. Elements such as the duration of these scenes, their prominence, and whether the human characters are realistic will be taken into account, before the restriction. This could likely affect gameplay videos of games like the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6 for sure. For sure. A series known for having thousands of uploaded videos that commonly contain violence. That's what the game is. These are far from YouTube's only controversial recent changes. A few months ago, YouTube started testing a new age verification feature in the United States, which would automatically restrict accounts believed to be underage, which was seen with suspicion by users. In any case, some of these changes seem unavoidable. Lawmakers all around the world are cracking down on loot boxes, for example, and the trends seems far from stopping. It remains to be seen how these policies will be enforced by YouTube, though. This is pretty wild, because I know a lot of you out there play games as a service. You stream them online. I know a lot of people that stream a lot of those games online. They also have partnerships with some of those game developers and studios that make those games. So that's another big part of this equation. You know, your partnerships, that's going to affect partnerships. That's going to affect revenue and income these people get from said partnerships. It's going to affect a lot of things moving forward. And not only that, but just streaming violent games. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, if I'm playing Berserk, or if I'm playing Final Fantasy, and a dragon eats me, or I'm doing something, if I go back and play the Band of the Hawk game on PS4, those are realistic looking characters to some degree. They're not super cartoony looking, and it is a violent game. Dynasty Warriors, if they make a new Dynasty Warriors game, that falls into that category. It's not just guns and shooting and stuff like that. Ghost of Yotei. You know, that just came out. Ninja Gaiden. You know, now that's very fantasy with the way they move and stuff like that. But you see my point. The way the bots run the different platforms, it is going to be hard for them to discern who owns what. I mean, hell, they think some company in Brazil owns all of Square Enix's music. So, I mean, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? So there's going to be a lot of issues coming out from this, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think this is going to need some tooling and some refining. What I think is going to happen, I think a lot of people are going to get hit hard in the beginning until they figure this out. Luckily for me, I play a lot of JRPG content and stuff when I do get to play. Most of the time I'm just hanging out with you all and giving my thoughts on things, games, stories. But I play mostly JRPG stuff. And I play a lot of retro stuff too, so when I am gaming online. So this isn't going to affect me and people like me. But I do know a lot of people who it is going to affect. My heart goes out to you, because you think the Ad-Pocalypse was something. Like, a lot of people, that's their whole platform, is streaming games like this. Like, playing old Rockstar games from the PS2, PS3 era. You know, Mafia and games like that. Yakuza. Yakuza would definitely fall into this category. So I don't know how that's going to affect that. Also, how's it going to affect game developers? Because a lot of game developers, and what I said, not that they're developing the game, but their marketing strategies for the games. Because a lot of developers now, and you all know we talk a lot about the marketing of video games on this channel, marketing in general. A lot of their marketing is banking on streamers and stuff playing their game and talking about it. That's why you get perks. You know, if you link to the game that's on Steam from a certain stream, the streamer gets a cut of that because it's free marketing and free advertising for them. So this is going to change how companies go about marketing their titles. Their whole marketing strategy. Some companies, some smaller companies, their whole marketing strategy is, we're going to reach out to streamers online. We're going to have a really solid outreach program, and we are going to get people on board, make a street team, and we're going to rely on people streaming our game and all that kind of stuff. So where's the line? You know, and it's going to affect a lot of people negatively. But I see why they're doing it. They are trying to filter out the kids that are watching these streams. And I think, and this may be way off base, but if you think how much energy and bandwidth and everything people watching streams requires, I'm not saying Google is anti-money, for sure. But here's the deal. When you're watching someone stream, and someone is streaming in general, it is consuming resources, energy, bandwidth, all that kind of stuff. Are they trying to filter out? Because we know what happened months ago, way earlier this year, and even before that they tested it with the age verification stuff when you're watching YouTube. And when you're uploading things to YouTube, they make sure, is this made for kids or not? Because we don't want to market to kids. Get that. Kids can't buy these games. Teenagers will find a way to buy them, but kids can't buy them unless their parents buy it for them. Are they trying to limit the traffic and resources used for bandwidth, energy consumption, everything going in and out of YouTube? Are they trying to limit that so they expose these things to the maximum audience, trying to get the most bang for their buck? Because they've kind of expended all resources as far as genius marketing tactics and things like that to get the right people in front of the right eyes. Now I feel like they're kind of like prospectors in the creek, sifting the sand, looking for the last few nuggets of gold. They're trying to streamline things so that they only show the content, and people, I think, will still be able to sell the violent games. I think loot boxes, they are really trying to eliminate. But I think other things like Genshin Impact and stuff like that, and other games that sell skins and stuff like that, I think they're trying to narrow that into the eyeballs of the direct consumer who is interested in that thing, who can buy it at that moment. Put credit card down, put PayPal account down. A lot of 9 to 12 year olds can't do that. Your 16 to 20 somethings can. So that could be a part of this. Now, again, I might be way off base on that, and I probably am, but that's something to think about too. Anything noteworthy with these stories and with policy changes and stuff like that, They're either trying to avoid getting sued or they're trying to make more money. It's one of the two. And usually if they're trying to avoid getting sued, they're trying to find more ways to make money. That's what marketing is. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Post your comments below. Let me know what you think. Is this going to be as big as the YouTube Ad-Pocalypse was for streamers who play these games? Or is this going to kind of blow over and just be an afterthought? I thought this was a very intriguing story to talk about today. Anyway, you all have a great day. Be safe, be good to each other, keep rocking, and I will catch you all in the next video or live stream, whichever happens first. You never know. Subscribe to the channel, throw a like on there. Appreciate you all, and have a great day. Take care.